Oh, say, can you hear?
Yet another red light.
Well, I'm gonna spill all
the secrets you're holding
about the spaceships up there and the aliens down here and all history,
which is totally fake.
Did you have any interesting experiences here in Houston regarding the unusual?
We had a situation where a lady was involved in what's called the missing twin syndrome. This lady named Donna was really happy she was going to have twins. And she'd been to the doctor, pregnancy was going fine, and it was getting up almost time to give birth, and she had ultrasounds, and there were 2 perfectly good heartbeats there, and everything was going along fine. It came down to that night, her water broke, and her husband rushed her to the hospital. She gave birth to 1 baby, 1 baby only. No evidence of another baby, except there was a second umbilical cord that appeared to have been surgically severed, but that's it. Only 1 baby, which was completely healthy. The doctors had no explanation because at least 24 to 48 hours before the delivery, the heartbeats were checked and there were definitely 2 babies there. Years after this occurred, and she has met and now knows actually a couple other 2 women that have had this same experience. She's also had what appears to be a few alien abduction experiences also. So this might have to do with some sort of hybrid race being created, or who knows.
Do you know of other UFO members that have been abducted?
Yes, I know another family, a man, his wife, and his 12-year-old daughter were all abducted while driving on I-10. They were coming toward Houston from San Antonio, and they were right at Schulenburg. They were driving in a pickup on the highway, and all of a sudden the next memory they had was like 15 or 20 minutes later, and they were in Texas City on the Gulf Freeway going toward Galveston. And so they got from just east of San Antonio all the way down through Houston and all the way down the Gulf Freeway to Texas City in about 15 minutes. So that's not possible by car, just barely possible by plane. So that appears to be an abduction experience. And all 3 of them have memories with hypnosis of the event. Another strange event happened here in Houston, and I was riding with a friend of mine back in the mid-80s, and we were on 290 around 34th Street on the highway. And as we sat there, a green flash caught my eye, and I turned my head to the left, and I saw a green flash of light shoot past the car, and we were going, you know, interstate speed, and this thing shot past us like we were standing still. And it was green, and to me it looked like it was about the size of a softball, and it had mass. It was like a round object, and it was brilliant green, and it was traveling. And as it went down the road in front of us, there was an overpass in front of us where the highway raised up a little bit because it was going up over an underpass where a road was below. And so we saw the ball of light when it went in front of us. It followed the curvature like it was staying a certain number of feet. I mean, it appeared to be at window level, so no more than, say, 4 feet most off the highway. I mean, as low as the roofs of cars.
Has any of your other friends experienced some unusual events in Houston that they can't explain?
Well, I know another lady, I don't know her real well, but I've been to her house, and we did a long 5-hour interview with her about her experiences. And she lives, I believe, on the 12th floor of a nice high-rise building on Westheimer, outside the loop to the west of the city. And one day she was standing on her patio, and it's just a little postage stamp patio because she's on the 12th floor and it's this high-rise building, but nonetheless you can actually open a sliding door and stand outside. And she saw a Boeing 737, the same airplane that Continental Airlines flies over the city all the time. She saw one of these flying up in front of her, directly where she had clear view of the jet as it was flying over the city. And she saw a black helicopter that appeared to be flying kind of at the same level where this plane was, way up there. And as she was watching, she realized this jet, this 737, was flying right toward the spot where this other helicopter appeared to be hovering. And she said, believe it or not, she said the jet, it looked like it was going to slam right into the helicopter, and when it got to the helicopter, the jet disappeared as if that helicopter was a secret doorway in reality, and the jet disappeared from nose to tail as it went through. And the second the 737 had vanished, the helicopter flew off to the west. So this lady had actually called the UFO phone hotline to report this event. And so when we started talking to her, we got off onto some other things, some medical things. She had a small wound or raw red spot at the base of her spine on her back, about the size of a quarter, and it wouldn't seem to go away. And it didn't seem to get worse, it just seemed to kind of stay red and inflamed, and sometimes it burned. She also told us that she had Rh negative blood, and that's one of the rarest bloods on planet Earth. The only main piece of the population that has Rh negative are basically the Basques from the Spanish Pyrenees Mountains. The people indigenous to that area appear to all have Rh negative, and it's a small area, and it is so rare that now people have to wear ankle trackers or carry smartphones with trackers so they can be gotten a hold of in case somebody important needs a transfusion. Someone who has Rh negative can only take Rh negative. Another weird thing about this specific lady, she had a boyfriend for a while. One time she woke up and 2 of her fingers had been broken while she was asleep. And they had been broken near the front part. The first little phalange here was snapped in 2 on her fingers. And she has no memory of how that happened while her boyfriend slept beside her. they ended up having a fight over this situation because she thought that he was actually drugging her and doing something kinky or whatever while she was asleep. And so she kicked him out and they broke up. And some things happened again with her in bed by herself with nobody there.
Say, can you finally
Start telling us the truth.
Protect our civil liberties and end
all wars tonight?
now.